Welcome back to one of the Bears Profit Plays YouTube channel. Today is Friday, September 20th, and we have some games to talk about on Friday night. We have two big matchups on Friday night, starting with the University of Stanford going on the road to face off against Syracuse. Then we have the top 25 match between Illinois and Nebraska. The Cornhuskers will be at home on Friday night. Two total player props, one for each of those games. Hope everybody enjoys their Friday, and let's break down some ball. All right, guys, let's get into this recap graphic for Thursday. It is halftime right now in the App State game. 28-7 in favor of South Alabama. App State, they've had their chances. It was 21 or 14-0 in favor of South Alabama. Then App State basically threw a pick six right before the half to make it. I guess it was 21-0, so it was 28-0. App State answered with a touchdown late. They get the ball coming out of the half. I don't think it's possible for them to cover 7 points just because how bad they looked in the first half. But, anything's possible. It is college football. Caden Robinson, he does have, I believe, 25 receiving yards at the half. But the good news is App State's going to be throwing the ball because they're down by 21 points. So maybe we will be able to get the 1-1 day out of it. Here's a look at the leaderboard. Has not updated because the game's still going. But we got some plays to get into for Friday night. We're going to start with Stanford going on the road to face off Syracuse, the first ACC match between these two schools. Both teams have played decent this season. I think it's fair to say that Syracuse has looked better than Stanford. Syracuse started off their season 2-0, getting a win over Georgia Tech in week number 2. Stanford, they rebounded after the loss to TCU with a 41-7 win over Cal Poly in week number 2. Again, this is going to be the first ACC game for Stanford, and they are coming into this game ranked 114th in total offense in the NCAA. That's not great. They only average 296 yards per game. The defense does not look good this season either, giving up nearly 500 yards per game. That's going to be a big problem going up against this Syracuse team with Kyle McCord, the transfer from Ohio State. They're averaging 34.5 points per game with 500 yards of total offense per game. And the only problem has been that defense. We're going to see if this defense is up for the test going up against Stanford. They haven't been great on the season, but this defense, they might be able to hold up going up against the Stanford offense. I just don't think Stanford can keep up with Syracuse in this game. They're averaging over 34 points per game. They've got the better quarterback. They've got the better overall team, especially offensively, and they're going to be playing at home. This has the potential to be a shootout. I don't think Stanford has enough ammunition in that clip to keep up with Syracuse. So I'm going to take the orange here. It's just that simple. They're going to outscore Stanford, take them minus 8.5, final score 35-23 in favor of Syracuse. For the other play tonight, we're going to see that top 25 matchup. Illinois going on the road to face off against Nebraska. Also, last season I said Illinois, and someone in the comment section was like, hey, from Illinois, it's called Illinois, no S. So Illinois. Shout to that guy in the comment section last season. I'm not sure if either of these teams are good yet this season. I know that they both have some pretty big wins, with Illinois getting that big win against Kansas, but it looks like Kansas might not be that good this year. They were kind of bullied against UNLV last week, and then Illinois beat Kansas the week before that. Nebraska, they're coming off a big win 2 weeks ago against Colorado, taking that game very easily at home. But again, I don't think Colorado's that good this season either. So neither of these teams have really played a top-tier opponent. I do think the quarterback play for Nebraska is going to be good all season long. It's the look-alike of Patrick Mahomes down there. He's got the hair down. He's got the body movements down. He screams at the crowd, pumps up the crowd just like Patrick Mahomes. Maybe he'll play like Patrick Mahomes in this game. He has been pretty good on the season. Dylan Raiola, he's been pretty efficient as well this season. 670 yards, 5 touchdowns, only 1 interception. And he's been a good game manager, especially in that second half against Colorado. I think the difference this season compared to all the other seasons for Nebraska is the quarterback play and the defense. This defense, they've been lights out for the first 3 games. This defense, they've only allowed a total of 232.5 yards per game, limiting their opponents over the last 2 weeks. Only 10 total points allowed. And one of those games was against Colorado, who people think they're very explosive offensively. I'm not one of those people, but a lot of people think Colorado's still a good team. Nebraska, they've got all kinds of talent on the outside. They've got a pretty good running back in the backfield. I just think Nebraska's the overall better team. They're going to be at home as well. For Illinois, they're coming out of this game pretty even, both offensively and defensively, putting up 325 yards per game on offense, allowing 318 yards per game on defense. And the only problem that they have in this game is that this is going to be the first road test of the season. They've played all 3 of their games at home. This is not where you want to start off for your first road game. The people of Nebraska, they take their football very seriously. I expect it to be very loud. The crowd's going to be very similar to that Colorado game. I also haven't been overly impressed with the passing attack for Illinois. Luke Altmaier, the quarterback, he's shown some potential going against some bad teams this season, but against Kansas, he only threw the ball 25 times, only 192 yards. I guess he did what he had to do to win the game, but he should have had a lot more yards going against that Kansas defense. I've seen Kansas play twice. They're not very good in the secondary. I think we're going to see Nebraska win this game with the defense and the home crowd. I'm going to take them here. -8 is the play. Final score 20-30 in favor of the Cornhuskers. Let's go over to some player props. We're going to take one player prop for each game. I'm going to start with Kyle McCord, again, the transfer out of Ohio State, to go over 291.5 passing yards in the 2 games so far for Syracuse, they've been putting the ball in Kyle McCord's hand, and I love to see it. He's attempted at least 39 passes in both games going up against Ohio and Georgia Tech. In those two games, he had at least 350 plus passing yards, 4 plus passing touchdowns in both games, has a quarterback rating above 165 in both those games as well. This Syracuse team, they have weapons on the outside, and they want to use them. Kyle McCord, so far, he's done a really good job getting his receivers the ball. In this game going up against Stanford, they've been pretty good at stopping the run, but we saw TCU exploit that passing defense. I think Kyle McCord's going to do the same thing. They've allowed 353 yards per game through the air. Kyle McCord in the last game, 381 yards, 46 pass attempts, 4 touchdowns. This Syracuse offense, their run and gun, I think he's going to have himself another 300-plus passing yard game. So give me Kyle McCord here, over 291.5 passing yards as the play for the other player prop tonight. We're going to take Dante Dowdle of the Nebraska Cornhuskers to go over 50.5 rushing yards against Illinois. Illinois this season, they're the exact opposite of Stanford. They've been really good at stopping the pass, not as good at stopping the run, allowing 164 yards per game. Most of that was due to Devin Neal and the Kansas Jayhawks. I know Neal, he had himself over 100 yards in that game going against Illinois. And the Jayhawks, they were able to run the ball up and down the field against Illinois. In this game, Dante, he's the transfer from Oregon. He only had 17 carries last season. So far this year for Nebraska, 3 games, 31 carries. He had 17 carries going up against Colorado for 74 yards. And I think that's going to be the stat line that we see tonight, somewhere around there going up against Illinois. You can see his last game, he only had 6 carries for 55 yards. But I went back, I looked at that box score because that is concerning. This is supposed to be the lead back. He only got 6 carries in that game. What's happening? But it looks like Nebraska, they were able to do everything through the air going up against Northern Iowa. So he actually led the running backs in that game with 6 carries. He had over 50-plus rushing yards now in all 3 games this year. It's not going to stop on Friday night going up against Illinois. I think they're going to run the ball in this game. Give me the over 50.5 rushing yards as the play there. Let's go take a look at the recap graphic. We're going to take Syracuse minus 8.5 against Stanford. We're going to take Nebraska minus 8 going up against Illinois. Kyle McCord over 291.5 passing yards against Stanford, and then Dante Dowdle over 50.5 rushing yards going up against Illinois. Guys, it's going to do it for the NCAA football plays and props for Friday, September 20th slate of games. If you guys enjoyed the content, please share, drop a like on this video, and subscribe channel below. See you guys next video, and thanks for watching.